The link to the Objective Builder website is provided to you in Blackboard. You will want to go to that web page and scroll down until you find the Objective Builder. The first 2 pages of this applet are simply instructions and a description of what the applet does. In order to navigate through the applet, you can use the right arrow to go to the next page, or the left arrow to go to the previous page. I'm going to skip past the first 2 pages and go to the very first step of the tutorial. The first thing you will do is identify the condition. That is, you're going to specify exactly what you're going to give the audience to learn the material with. I've written down a topographic map of Sanford, North Carolina. In the bottom, you can see that it's written, given a topographic map of Sanford, North Carolina. And now I can go to the next one, which is my audience. And my audience is going to be geology students. And I'll go to my next, and probably this is the best part of the online builder. It's the most helpful, at least that's what I think. Identifying the specific behavior and identifying the verb that's associated with that behavior. So the first step is determine what kind of objective you're writing, a cognitive, psychomotor, or affective, or attitudinal. I'm going to write a cognitive objective. And since geology is a low-level class, it's an introduction to geology, I'm going to look at this hierarchy of cognitive levels, and I'm going to choose one of the lower ones. And that's not because I don't think my students can handle the higher ones, but in an introductory class, the goal of the introductory class is to introduce the student to new concepts, to the basic concepts related to the course material. So you should probably pick from within the first 4 levels. But that does not mean that you can't ever have them evaluate or create something. That could be a final project. Now, I do teach a second semester of geology that builds on this. So that second semester of geology is going to assume, because Geology 111 is a prerequisite, that they understand the basics of all the concepts they learned in Geology 111. So that course is going to employ more of the upper level skills in Bloom's, because if you're building on previous knowledge, now you know that they understand it, but now they need to apply it to new situations, evaluate, analyze, all the stuff that they need to do to synthesize new material into a larger construct. For my example, I'm going to choose the understand skill set. And now here's the best part of this applet. It gives you a list of verbs to go from. Cite examples, demonstrate, describe, determine, differentiate, discriminate, discuss, explain. So I can have them do anything on this list, and that will demonstrate to me that they understand how to use a topographic map. So I guess for me, I'm probably going to pick identify. And then what am I going to have them identify? Well, I'm going to have them identify the area on the map that has the highest elevation. And now I'm going to go to the last and final step, which is the degree. So this is the level of accuracy that I want. Do I want them to be proficient in this? Do I want them to be, do this in a certain amount of time on the first attempt? So I think I'm going to choose on the first attempt. And now I'm done with the degree. And if you look at the bottom, they've written out that objective for you. So let's go to the final page. Given a topographic map of Sanford, North Carolina, geology students will identify the area on the map that has the highest elevation on the first attempt. So now I have all the parts of my objective, the condition, the audience, the behavior, and the degree. And I can continue writing objectives, and then I can just simply copy all of my objectives and paste them into a document. So this is a great tool for you to use, especially if you're new to writing objectives. And I would suggest that you give it a try, because if you can identify the learning objectives and go ahead and map those out, then you can tie specific activities to those learning objectives. So, for example, this particular learning objective, I may include a quiz on using that topographic map, and in that quiz, they will have one chance to take that quiz. So there's the first attempt degree that I've mentioned in my objective. And then I can include a question about where the highest elevation is on that map.